You're listening to Southern Miss Radio. It's time for News You Need. News You Need is a look at current events and how they affect the college community and beyond. News You Need is sponsored by USM Partners for the Arts. And now here's the host of News You Need, Dr. Ed Simpson.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another exciting edition of News You Need. This is a show where we talk with the best people in the whole world, which is our USM students. And we have two special guests with us today. But before we get to them, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves. Let's talk a little bit about why we're here, right? So this is the show where we discuss what's in the news, what's on the minds of our USM students. And the reason we care is that news is the weather report for your society. This is the idea of here are the issues that are coming at you as a citizen. How do we make those decisions? What kind of decisions do we need to be making on behalf of our communities? So what direction do you want your society to go? The way we learn about that is through reading and learning about the news, right? So that's why we do this show. That's why we're here. It's all very exciting. So we have two excellent guests with us today. So if you would, Shania actually is switching roles a little bit today. She is on the air with us. She normally is our engineer. So she's actually going to talk. You're going to hear her today. So Shania, introduce yourself. Tell us what group you're with, and then we'll go over here.
Shania Williams. I am with the Student Media Center.
Excellent.
And yeah, I have a couple of roles, you know, have to get on Dr. Ed's nerves all the time. So that's the part of it.
And you do that role very well.
Very well.
Very well.
Very well.
Okay, Carter?
Well, my name is Cordavion Carter, but you all can call me Carter. I'm with the Student Media Center as well. And, you know, I'm the assistant producer for SMTV, you know, but I wear many hats.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of you are officially in the creative division of the Student Media Center. And I understand that you are both also organizing a pretty amazing event. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, where I go.
Yeah, you got it.
So, we came up with the idea to create more of a presence on campus for our organization. We decided to do a talent show. So in this talent show, we have 10 to 7 competitors. 10 to 7 competitors.
10 to 7.
It's
okay.
hard. That's why we did 10 instead of 7. But we have 10 to 7 competitors. And I mean, it's just so we can have a presence so everybody can come out, have fun, you know.
Okay, so where and when is this event?
So the event is going to be April 27th.
April 27th.
And it's going to be in the Union Plaza. If it doesn't rain, we also have a indoor location, which is Stout Hall.
Right, and so there'll be, if it rains that day, you'll let folks know, hey, come over to Stout Hall. And so that's exciting. So, and you had tryouts, I understand?
Yeah.
Did we have tryouts?
We're still going through tryouts. We got a couple more, like the last of tryouts today at 3 o'clock. So we're going to see who else comes out because, you know, a lot of people had conflicts in their schedule with the original times we offered. So we made Friday an open-end day for them to be able to come out and, showcase their talents and give everybody an opportunity.
That sounds like a great event, and it got quite a bit of interest, as I understand.
Yes.
Quite a few folks that wanted to be on.
Few.
And so give me a range of what kind of acts are you selecting for, and I believe it's got a name, right? You're calling it SM2's Got Talent?
SM2's Got Talent. The range of acts we have so far, we have dancers, singers, rappers. I mean, we're looking for a little bit of everything. Like,
yeah, anything in the arts.
Like, anything, and like, anything at all. So any talent is a great talent that we can use on the stage. And, you know, we would love to showcase all the talent we have here at USM and, you know, broadcast that towards people. Because we're also going to live stream it too.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So you're going to live stream so you can see it in person, but you can also catch it on a live stream, which will be on the SM2 channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. And is there, do we have prizes? I don't remember.
Yes,
we have
do.
prizes.
Oh, what are the prizes?
Oh, third place. This you might feel sometimes. But third place is a interview on News You Need and $25.
Okay.
Second place is you can co-host Southern Miss Says and you'll get $50. And first place is a full production of your talent and $100.
Wow.
So some big
First place
prize.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's very that is very exciting. I love the reaction. I'm looking forward to seeing the show myself. I hope it all works well. What time on the 27th do we know?
It'll be from 6 to 9.
6 to 9. Oh, wow. Well, I'm really, really old, so I don't know. But yeah, 6 to 9, that'll be exciting. Well, I love that. I think it's great. I'm sure that hang in with SM2 and you'll see all sorts of announcements about this and that kind of stuff. So that's great. Love the event. Okay, so talk to me. What are our USM students talking about in the news? What's news to our USM students? What's big?
I know more recently when we had the arrest last week on campus, a lot of people have been talking about
Oh
that.
yeah, that was a big one.
And I have to commend the Student Media Center with how they went about it and how they were just there, you know, in the midst of it. Like one of our first breaking news stories, and you know, we got it out, and it got a lot of reactions, a lot of views. A lot of people are just very up about that, and you know.
Yeah. So what we're talking about here is there was a video. Is this the incident we're talking? Yeah. So this is the video of campus police arresting a alleged trespasser. And it was a really interesting video. Did get a lot of views, and so students are paying attention to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we hearing any follow-ups on that? Like,
Well, from my understanding, and he got the reason he got trespassed in the first place because he was staying on campus in his car, and
Okay.
you know they
That's what I was
trespassed him
trying to
for that.
interesting.
And his name is Stephen Green. He's from North Carolina. He's like what, I think 32 years old.
Wow.
And that's why they arrested him because you know trespassing.
Yeah, you can't live on campus.
Yeah.
In your car.
In your car.
Okay. Well, we'll have to. I'll look for that. That's really interesting. Okay. So a lot of students talk. What else were students talking about?
I mean, I don't know if we can talk about this, but
Yeah.
you know the provost.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna
we
say.
can
That's
talk
all I've
about
been
that.
hearing about,
So
the provost.
yeah, so a lot of folks are talking about that. So this is where we are in the middle of a provost search. We narrowed it down to 4 candidates. The final candidate, which I believe he will be in on next week,
Yeah.
and I forget his name. Do you remember his name? Lance.
I think Lance.
Well, we have to look that up. I'm not prepared with that one today, actually, but I am. So students are paying attention to that. So this is the controversy where he's a former dean of the College of Business here at USM. He went down to Texas Tech, and he's been at some other universities. And at Texas Tech, he had a couple of controversies where they asked him to leave. They basically fired him. And so now there is a petition started by a graduate student out of English, I believe. And so that's caught the attention of a lot of students. So what do you guys think? Are you paying attention, and do you care whether this provost candidate has some questionable things in his background? Do you care?
Well, from my understanding, from what I've been hearing, the things that he was doing is it puts students in danger. It would endanger students. So I'm not particularly worried about it because I don't stay on campus and I don't plan on running into him anytime soon. But I mean, you have to take in account of all of the student body, and you don't know who may be working in that office with him or anything like that. So that's
Interesting. Okay.
That's a take. That's my take.
Well, for me, I just really paid attention to it like a couple of days ago. When you know, everywhere I go, I cannot escape, you know, his, you know, whatever he has going on. But I don't think he'll be a great fit here at USM, simply because of, you know, we are a very, I don't know how to put this. We are a very diverse school, and we push for changes in those areas that he failed in, you know, like, so it can put the students at danger and at risk, and I think that the students here at Southern Miss understand that, and they will push him out ultimately. So I feel like he's one of the finalists, but he's definitely not going to get in.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. Yeah, so what the specific allegation was is that I'm pretty sure I'm close to correct. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. There was never any hint that he himself was involved in any sort of sexual misconduct or anything like that. But it was an allegation that he either protected a professor who had been accused of sexual assault or sexual harassment, and did not follow all the proper procedures. So, and that has obviously got our students chatting about, well, if it wasn't a priority for you then, is it a priority for you now? And certainly for our students, they're telling us it is a priority. We want someone who's going to come in, make that a priority, make sure our campus is safe for our students. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, and too, that goes back to saying the student voice matters, because you have to take into account who your students are, what's your demographic, and who your students are. And for us to be a smaller university, we are a very close-knit school in a way. Not saying that every school knows everybody's business, nothing like that, but when it comes to people harming themselves, when it comes to people, students being in danger, we push against anything that's going to not make our campus safe. Because what is the point of us going to a school where we don't feel safe, and every couple seconds we have to look over our shoulders? So that's something that I could say.
Yeah. So I love your take on the student voice. The provost is the highest academic officer on campus. So basically, your education, your academic experience really flows down from that office. So it's very reasonable to ask our students to take part in this discussion. That's very cool. Okay, what else? Anything else that students are chatting about?
For the most part, those are the main two things. I mean,
Yeah, that's all I've been
you
hearing
know,
about.
and then other than that, events, finishing out the
Semester.
Yeah,
semester.
everybody is consumed with finishing out the semester. Final projects. You guys working on final projects?
Listen, I got 2 minutes to count.
I don't even know them boys.
You got 2
Yeah.
minutes to count. 2 minutes
Yeah,
to count.
yeah, but plus you're also working in student media. You're doing all kinds of crazy things, right? So, yeah, a lot of folks are this time of the semester. Go ahead, jump in there.
Oh yeah, the awards day.
Yeah, we have
I
an
actually
award.
heard a lot of people talk about the awards day.
Yeah, that's good. So this is in our school, obviously. So we have our award ceremony in School of Media and Communication on April 20th, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very exciting, and I believe you're going to help us with the live stream, actually. So that's one of the reasons why you're hearing about that. So that's great.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And what time
So
is-
we are going to, it's 4 to 6:30.
4 to 6:30?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to take a break, and we are going to pick up on the other side.
When you or your business sponsors programming on WUSM, you are getting more than recognition for your product. You are also gaining the appreciation of our audience, who understands that your sponsorship provides their favorite programming. And research shows that the audience is more likely to patronize your business too. In addition, the cost of sponsoring programming on WUSM is tax deductible. To learn more, call 601-266-4287.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ed Simpson, Director of the School of Media and Communication at USM. Join me on Southern Miss Radio Friday afternoons at 12:30 for a new show, News You Need. On News You Need, USM students will discuss current events and why those events are important to them. Listen in on how the future citizens of the U.S. consider news and how those news events affect their lives. Join me for News You Need, Fridays at 12:30 on Southern Miss Radio. News You Need is brought to you by the generosity of Partners for the Arts. Partners for the Arts raises money to enhance the budgets of the arts programs here at Southern Miss. You can show your support for the arts by becoming an active partner and visiting www.usm.edu/arts.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. And we made good use of our time here at the break. And we did look up the name of the provost candidate. It's Lance Neal. Is it pronounced Neal?
Yes, that's how it's
I
spelled.
think it looks like it sounds right. So Lance Nail or Neal?
Nail?
Nail. I think it might be
Nail.
Nail.
Lance
N-A-I-L-L-ish.
Lance
So
Nail.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kelsey's.
Lance Nail.
He's sorry. That's where we're going on, and there is a protest that the students have scheduled, I believe, next week. So we'll see, and I believe that's when he will visit, which is next Thursday, next Wednesday, I think, the 19th, I think. So you can look at SM2. I'm sure SM2 will be following that. Okay, so anything else students are chatting about? Let me throw a couple of headlines out here. So tell me if you think these that our students care about this. So this is from CNBC. So this CNBC is a business cable channel, and they just cover all kinds of different things. But they had a headline that caught my eye this week that says, NPR quits Twitter. So NPR, National Public Radio, is the single most listened to news program in the country. Something like well over 100 million adults in the U.S. Say I listen to at least one NPR show a week. And NPR quit Twitter because Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Twitter, the new CEO of Twitter, labeled it a state media, as in a state-sponsored media. So they just said, nope, we're not state-sponsored. We're not propaganda for the state. We're a news outlet. What do you think?
I mean, if we're talking about like how the students feel about
Yeah,
NPR,
how do students feel? How do you feel about it?
the only reason I know NPR, if I can be totally honest with
Sure.
you, and I'm pretty sure other college students can agree with this, is because they do these little tiny desk concerts on YouTube.
Absolutely.
That's the only reason I know NPR. I knew they were like a radio, you know, they had like their own radio station, a radio network or whatever. But I never personally listened to it. The only thing I use NPR for is the Tiny Desk concert.
That is interesting. Oh, that's good information.
Oh, damn it. Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay,
them.
And
okay,
actually,
okay.
a lot of
Yeah,
folks
I like
copied
that.
those, which are very cool. And during the pandemic, they became actually one of their top 5 shows. So that's interesting. So, but do you care whether Twitter is going this new direction with Elon? You don't care about Twitter at all?
No,
I
because I,
really
mean we
don't.
have all these other platforms,
TikTok.
and it's right, and
TikTok, which-
and we have. Hey, let's not go there, Dr.
Okay, let's not do it. All right,
Don't
gotcha.
hurt my feelings. But we have all these different platforms, and who's to say that another kind of Twitter won't pop up?
Okay.
So I mean that.
So Twitter's just old people yipping.
No, not really.
I mean, people still use
Yeah,
Twitter.
people still use
I mean,
Twitter,
but I
it's
feel
all about
like,
what we use it for.
Gotcha.
I think people will start. Twitter is going to start dying out, just like Facebook started to die out.
But Facebook made a comeback.
Nah, it's mainly
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, so there's another story, sort of similarly, not really related, but kind of in the same genre. The Mississippi Association of Broadcasters, along with every other state in the country, actually, is protesting a proposed rule that would allow new cars to eliminate AM radio.
Well, I mean.
So
nobody
this is
listens.
primarily aimed at electric
Well,
cars.
yeah, no, that's
So-
big.
AM radio?
AM radio, yeah. If it, in the morning, like Steve Harvey in the morning, Ricky Smiley in the morning, like AM radio.
That's
is a
the
big,
discussion, is that people still listen to AM radio,
yeah.
especially
Oh.
on For Talk and news and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, don't you remember like when you were little,
Yeah,
getting up in the
Tom
morning?
Joyner.
Yeah, in the morning, like,
Tom
and
Joyner.
eliminating that aspect. That
Oh,
was
that's crazy because my
also-
dad still
okay,
listens
now
to
wait a
stuff
minute
like
now.
that.
So, right now, actually, it's not required. But every car is equipped with AM radio. So, but now what they're proposing is because Tesla, Ford, and BMW have announced that they are eliminating AM radio in their new cars because they say the circuitry complicates the software and it adds weight to the car.
Okay.
So now
So let's
Congress,
explain.
a congressman, is proposing a rule that would require AM radio. So I said that kind of backwards earlier.
Okay, so AM radio, you mean like radio systems in your car? That's
Yes.
what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, I understand what they're saying because you can get AM radio anywhere. It screams from anywhere. You got, what is that?
Sirius.
iHeart.
Sirius.
You got Sirius XM. They have their own apps, so everything has apps now. So I don't think
Well-
that's completely eliminating.
Well, that's what the argument is. So that's the other side of the argument, is that there are so many other ways to get this content that a over-the-air AM signal is not necessary anymore. Now, you could also, now I would
that's
argue,
scary because, yeah, that's scary because we have a radio station here.
It's
so
over the
that
air.
means, right, and it's over the air. So that means if we're not able to broadcast in a different way, like what's the point of paying for towers if you could post everything like on
That's
other platforms.
Well,
That's exactly
You know
why
what
I
I'm
did
saying?
that,
So
yeah.
that's scary, and that's scary for the people who
Work.
we pay for the towers.
yeah,
because
people like
that's-
me who write a
right,
check every
that's-
year for the tower.
That's taking
Yeah,
that's
that's
taking money out of somebody's pocket, and that's somebody losing a job.
Yes.
Well, potentially. I mean, it is pretty complicated. But the argument that the congressman is making, who's pushing for this rule, is that the entire emergency broadcast system rests on AM.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, that's. I haven't looked into it. That feels right to me. Now you also get it over cable, you get it in a lot of other ways, but the majority, the way to reach everybody is through the AM over-the-air
System, yeah.
signal.
I mean, that makes
Because it
makes a lot
sends
of
that
sense
signal out to every
to
tower.
That's
everybody,
exactly right.
Every tower.
So you guys do it feels like you care about this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't. Me personally, I
I
don't.
don't disagree.
Of course, you guys are media students, so I kind of would
I mean,
expect that.
I don't listen to the radio like that, but like, still, that is a very important
Because
aspect.
what happens if what happens if we have no technology? Like we have no TVs, none of that. Like we have no Wi-Fi, and all you have is this radio in your car to hear what's going on and
So-
when we're gonna get power back and all that. Like that's
the
very
doomsday argument.
Right,
Well,
that's
you're
very
You're not
important.
completely wrong, right? We live in a part of the country where you can expect a couple electrical outages a year.
right.
And so when that AM station fires up, and we know this from Rolling Fork, that the AM radio station up there kept that community informed for the 3 days right after the storm.
Right.
So, and that's the argument the congressman is making. So you guys are right on it. That's just fascinating. Let me throw you another. Headline out here. They arrested a 21-year-old this morning on 2 charges of espionage for stealing Pentagon, as in military documents, and releasing them on Discordia, which is a gaming kind of social media platform. What do you think of it? So 21, you guys are
I am
20.
21.
You're 21, so you could have
Yeah.
been you. It could have been you.
No.
And you're Carter. You're 20.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Any idea? Any
You know,
feeling?
that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's very,
crazy.
yeah, that's
Like-
very
like-
crazy.
First of all,
Wait.
how did you get in there?
Well, okay, so that's a good question. So he was actually working in the Pentagon through the National Guard. He was a National Guard member, and he was an information tech, an iTech specialist. So it was his job to kind of organize all of these classified documents and make sure everybody had access to them who should have access to them. It just so happened that he allegedly took a bunch of them and allegedly put them on this platform for everybody to
Why
see.
would he
So,
do that though?
wait, hold on.
It's got to be a good
Wait,
why.
because my question is, was he a American citizen?
Yes.
Like he's born, bred, American.
Yes.
Nothing-
What did he
okay.
release?
He released, it was hundreds of pages of documents involving the U.S. strategy in the Ukraine. So the war in the Ukraine.
Oh no. Yeah, he needs to go up the road.
He needs to go
I
up the
don't-
road.
He
Okay.
needs to go because that puts us in danger as American citizens. That puts us in danger.
Okay.
That puts us in danger because now they know what our strategy is.
He's 21.
It doesn't matter.
Don't we want to ask why do we have a 21-year-old with access to that kind
I
of
mean,
information?
well, no, because it's the military. So, I mean, the military puts people who's 18 in spots like that because they're supposed
you're
to
not
be
wrong, right?
taught and mature enough to handle what they know. All this supposed to be top
So
secret.
you're
for
not
them.
buying the age thing at all?
No,
Interesting.
I'm not either.
he should
Okay,
go to jail.
I'm going to interrupt and
Should go to prison.
we're going to take a break. No, Kelsey is informing us. No, we're not going to take a break. We're going to stay with you all. Look at me handling this situation. It's amazing. Yeah. That's interesting. You all don't seem
no.
really interested in this, and
Yeah, no,
the
he should
age
go
is
to
not a
jail.
factor. If you take a job, you do the job.
You do
don't
it
release
efficiently,
things.
right.
Okay.
Anything you put your hands to, you're supposed to do it efficiently and to the best of your ability and keep whoever you're supposed to be safe. So,
Gotcha.
no, he deserves to go to jail.
Okay. Well,
On
that's it.
Discord though, like Discord, I'll see if he like
Discord. Yeah, it's right. I think I said Discordia. It's Discord. Yeah.
I'll
that's
see if
exactly
he sold them or something for like money.
right. Yep. This was just put out
Yeah,
there.
but that's
for everybody.
I was finna say now that would be different if your life was in like if your life depended on it. Okay, it's okay. You
But
can go to
Discord,
jail
really?
for your life being dependent on it. But you put it on
Are
a
you guys on
gaming
Discord?
app.
Oh yeah, I
not.
do a podcast on there.
Do you really? My granddaughter is on Discord, so I actually signed up, and I could never figure out how to use
It's
it.
complicated.
It's
I
very
don't be on there like
complicated.
that.
It's very complicated. But anyway, so that's fascinating. I love that you guys care. I think that's great. So a big thing that the country is talking about is the U.S. Supreme Court addressing the abortion pill issue. So are our students talking about that? Do you all care about that issue?
Okay, I haven't heard about it, but it is something that we should have a conversation about because we're in college and things happen.
Things happen.
Things happen.
So, I mean, if I'm in college, I'm not ready to have a child, I should have that option.
Mm-hmm.
That should be an option.
That should be an option.
Not saying that I'm not pro-life because I am. But and I've always said this, let's just say somebody comes and they were raped and they don't want the child. People put in adoption, but you still have to understand that as a woman, you have to carry this child for 9 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's an intense process within itself. Then you have to deliver this child.
But
And
see, me personally, I'm pro-choice. So, like, whatever, woman's body, her choice.
Yeah.
Her body, her choice. So, I feel like they need to have that decision. They should be able to make that decision instead of that being stripped from them. You know, that should be one of their rights. It's their body, their choice, whatever they want to do. You know, you can't just, I don't know, that whole thing is just weird to me.
yeah, but I don't know. But too, you have to think about it's a bunch of mades. It's majority males in Congress
Well,
making these decisions.
Right. So this goes to, the U.S. Supreme Court has already left it up to the states on whether you ban abortion outright. This is the slippery slope everybody kind of feared, is that, okay, well, if they ban abortion or allow states to ban abortion, well, the next step is things like the abortion pill, which you take after having unprotected sex, and that prevents a baby from forming. Oh, I'm
Right.
being told we're gonna roll on here
Yeah.
just for another few minutes. So are our students talking about the abortion issue, and do you think for young people that will be a political issue coming up?
Well, I think so, yes. Like, in this generation, yes.
Because I was going to say, I haven't heard no one vocally talk about it
but
just
like-
because that's a touchy topic. And that's like politics. You don't talk about politics if you don't want the backlash of what you have to
I
say.
don't talk about politics at all.
But amongst like friend groups and people who are like in that position now that has the option or needs the option, why not give it to them?
Right.
Because you say America is becoming overpopulated. We don't have enough funds to feed these people or these children. But then when people have a way out, you take it away.
Yeah. Well, now the other side of that argument, of course, is things like the abortion pill, which is what they're apparently talking about now. Things like abortion is basically murder. You're taking a potential life and you are ending that life. Is that a reasonable argument?
I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's not because you're putting a person. Okay, so let's stay within Mississippi. Mississippi is one of the poorest states in America right now.
Very
well,
poor.
I believe we've always.
I think we're either 49 or 50th on every measure. Pretty
Yes.
Much. Yep.
So that goes to show. So people around here just having kids, and then nobody's taking care of these children. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that puts us back in this whole welfare thing because you have to have so much stuff to be on welfare, but you're trying to remove welfare. How do you remove welfare if you don't give people an option?
See,
Who doesn't have the means, who don't have the funds, who can't function, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without this plan.
Okay.
see,
If you take away abortion, this is what
mhm.
you should in place. This is what you should input.
I agree with that. because like how are you gonna take that away? And then, you know, let's say the mother is already struggling to provide for the family, father struggling to provide for the family, and then the government does not give them money or like help them provide for
Right.
their children. So like I don't get how they can take that choice away when they're not going to help take care of that child. So I mean,
That is an argument a lot of people make. This idea of loving the fetus and hating the child, right? Is a very bizarre argument. I've never seen the efficacy of it. But there you go. So let me throw. I think they're asking us to continue. Shut up. It's time to shut her down. It's time to shut her down. So we're working on it. So here we go. So thank you to our guests. You guys have been amazing. Great discussion. Appreciate it very much. These are not easy issues in the news, but they are absolutely important. It's the direction of your society. You guys are our future. And so if we don't talk about this, how do we know what we're doing? So thank you very much to your guests. Appreciate it very much. This has been a production of Southern Miss Student Media. Thank you to our guest engineers today, which is Matthew Lee and Kelsey Bolden. Thank you. Whoop, 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 whoop. Very exciting. And we will see you next week on News You Need.
This has been News You Need with Dr. Ed Simpson. News You Need airs